जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जया गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीर वनचारि यमुनतीर वनचारि जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीर वनचारि यमुनतीर वनचारि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गिरिधारी श्री राधे जय राधा गिरिधारी श्री राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव की जय श्रीमद्भागवत महाभारत की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः कृष्ण Hare Krishna everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to the morning session. Thank you, Mataji. Charan Prabhuji, for giving this opportunity. Please bless me so that I can deliver the correct message. Please correct me if I do any mistakes. Thank you so much. So I'm sharing the screen. We'll read the Prabhupada Leelamrit. So we are starting from this. Some articles have been sent for the October issue, Sajjana Toshini, and some more might be sent. We will be very much obliged if you would instruct Kesavananda Prabhu to publish the October issue. We hope that Sri Sri Guru Maharaj will be able to personally publish the November and December issues. We wish to transfer it to Calcutta from the month of January. Sri Sri Guru Maharaj has become old and most of the time he has to depend on us. We are happy to know that we are trying very hard to publish the Chaitanya Charitamrita in Hindi, but at the present circumstances, it won't be possible for us to invest 600 rupees from our fund in order to print that, because Sri Sri Guru Maharaj has taken many projects in different directions now, and he has to spend a lot of money. So he cannot take the responsibility of printing that book. Kesavananda Prabhu wrote that your clothes are getting torn. So buy a pair of clothes from the fund of temple. And if the devotees commit offenses at your lotus feet due to their short-sightedness, please forgive them. Signed, the servant of the Vaishnava, Sri Ramananda Das. It was not a fact that Abhay was being called for leadership in Kesava Maharaj's parikrama, although it was good excuse for Ramananda suggesting that Abhay leave the Gaudiya Sangha. So after living as a dutiful member in the ashramas of Kesava Maharaj and Bhakti Saranga Maharaja, Abhay was again on his own. Without income or institutional shelter, Abhay began staying in various homes in Delhi, living from week to week wherever he received an invitation. In terms of food, clothing, and shelter, these were the most difficult times he had ever gone through. Since his childhood, there had always been plenty of food and good clothes and no question of where he would live. He had been the pet child of his father and he had received special guidance and affection from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. But now Abhay sometimes felt alone. Homeless, he moved around Delhi from one temporary residence to another, a Vishnu temple, a room at Kapoor College of Commerce, but he was seeking donors, preaching from Bhagavad Gita. Writing. His goal wasn't to find a permanent residence, but to print his transcendental literature and to establish or join forces with a pure, powerful movement for spreading Krishna consciousness. Mataji, I think you stop here, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So now I'm going to share the page we are going to read the verse. Nobody can see the screen. Able to see the screen, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, we can. Thank you.
So today we are reading the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21, Instructions by Maharaj Prabhu, and the verse number 50. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Natyabhutam idam nata tava jivyanusasanam prajanurago mahatam prakritihi karunatmanam. Natyabhutam idam nata tava jivyanusasanam prajanurago mahatam prakritihi karunatmanam. Natyadhutam idam nata tava jivyanusasanam prajanurago mahatam Prakriti Karunatmam. Anybody wants to recite? Please welcome.
Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji, please.
Nati Atudam Idam Nata Tava Ajiva Anushashanam Rajanuraga Mahatam Prakriti Karumatmanam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm trying.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Natadbhutamidam natha tava divyanushashanam prajanurago mahatam prakriti karunatmanam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you.
Atadbhutamidam natha tava jivyanushashanam prajanuragam hotam prakriti karunatmanam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am also trying.
Yes, Mataji.
Natha bhutam idam natha tava jivyanusasanam praja anurago mahatam prakriti karunatmanam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to recite? Otherwise, we go for synonyms. Synonyms. Anybody wants to read the synonyms?
I will try, Mataji.
Yes.
Na, not. Ati, very great. Adbhutam, wonderful. Idam, this. Nata, O Lord. Tava, your. Aji, vya, source of income. Anu, shashanam, ruling over the citizens. Praja, citizens. Anuraga, affection. Mahatam, of the great. Prakriti, nature. Karuna, merciful. Atmanam, of the living entities. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Anybody would like to translation and purport?
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Our dear Lord, it is your occupational duty to rule over your citizens. This is not a very wonderful task for a personality like you, who are so affectionate in sync to the interest of the citizens, because you are full of mercy. That is the greatness of your character. Purport. A king's duty is to give protection to his citizens and levy taxes from them for his livelihood. Since the Vedic society is divided into 4 classes of men, the Brahmanas, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, their means of livelihood are also mentioned in this scripture. The Brahmanas should live by spreading knowledge and should therefore take contribution from their disciples, whereas a king should give protection to the citizens for their development to the highest standard of life, and he can therefore levy taxes from them. Businessmen or mercantile men, because they produce foodstuff for the whole of society, can take little profit from this, whereas the Shudras who cannot work as either Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya should give service to the higher classes of society and be provided by them with the supply of the necessities of life. The symptoms of a qualified king or a political leader is mentioned herein. He must be very merciful and compassionate to the people and see to their prime interest, which is to become elevated devotees to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Great souls are naturally inclined to do good to others, and a Vaishnava especially is the most compassionate and merciful personality in society. Therefore, we offer our respect to a Vaishnava leader as follows. Vancha kalpataru vyasya kripa sindhu vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo. Only a Vaishnava leader can fulfill all the desires of the people, Pancha Kalpataru, and is compassionate because he is the contributor of the greatest benefit to the human society. He is Patit Pavan, the deliverer of all fallen souls, because if the king or the head of the government follows in the footsteps of the Brahman and Vaishnavas, who are naturally leaders in missionary work, the Vaishnavas will also follow in the footsteps of Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, and the Shudras will give them service. Thus, the entire society becomes a perfect human institution for combined progress to the highest perfection of life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So we'll read the translation one more time. Our dear Lord, it is your occupational duty to rule over your citizens. That is not a very wonderful task for a personality like you, who are so affectionate in seeing to the interests of the citizens, because you are full of mercy. That is the greatness of your character. Thank you so much. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Akshar Unmiltam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudeyate Nashtapraya Subhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Nistiki Om Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Giri Krupatamaham Mande Sri Gurum Vinataranam Paramanandamadam Sri Chaitanya Chandreswaram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. So, in these words, the citizens are glorifying Prithu Maharaj. If you see the previous verses, we've been discussing how Prithu Maharaj was instructing citizens and what is the message he was giving to citizens, and these citizens again in this application, how they are glorifying with Maharaj, for what actions they are glorifying, you can see here. So if you remember, what are the main instructions given by Prithu Maharaj? So those are wonderful instructions for the citizens. And as a devotee, so he is practicing those instructions, and also he is giving, and he is asking citizens also to follow that. So anybody want to share some of the instructions given by Prithu Maharaj from the previous verses? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear?
Yes, Mataji, yes. Yeah.
So one of the instructions was that they must do their occupational duties. At the same time, they must worship Lord Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. So he emphasized on Varnasana Dharma, and also he instructed to the devotional service, worship the Lord Krishna. He emphasized on the worshipping the Lord, the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Anybody others want to share any other instructions?
He also established the position of the Supreme Lord. He said the atheists like Veena, they did not accept and they were destroyed. But all the other great devotees, they have accepted the position of the Supreme Lord.
Yes, true, Prabhuji. Thank you. And also, he has given many instructions, not only these, and apart from, he has given one important instruction to them. So, while establishing the supremacy of Lord, he also warned that you should not offend Vaishnavas, offenses towards Vaishnavas, and you have to respect Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So that instruction was given by Prithu Maharaj to citizens in order to advance the spiritual journey. So here the people knows how is Prithu Maharaj and how behaving, everything. So in the previous verse also, you see, we are so fortunate. So we are under the direct agency of Lord. So they are recognizing that he is not other than, he is a representative as good as Lord. So they know that he can give the perfect ruling to us. So they are glorifying. So they are saying that we are so fortunate. We are under the direct agency of Lord. We are so fortunate. So in this verse also, they are glorifying the Prithu Maharaj, saying that you are so affectionate towards us. And also, you know our interests. You do according to our interests, our needs. So that is the qualification of a sincere king as a Kshatriya. And also here, if you see, they are praising means their citizens are glorifying means the reason behind it, because actually he is doing. If you come to the present scenario for the political situations, the people glorify the leaders. So for what purpose they glorify? Anybody wants to share? So why they glorify? If they do really the good work, or otherwise they just glorify like that. And what situations they glorify the leaders? Anybody wants to share anything?
For some personal benefits, maybe.
Benefit. Yeah. So if you see in India especially, so when the election comes, the leaders come and they beg for the votes. Yes, and they promise so many issues. We do this. If you give me chance to rule, they do so many promises. And also they bring certain people along with us and to tell them to glorify them. So it's a false. So those people who come with them, they glorify falsely, even though they are not doing anything for the citizens. They glorify falsely to them and for the votes, for the sake of votes. During the votes, elections only, they come to the citizens and they pray for the votes. After that, they don't do anything. They just disappear. So for this, this is not actual. This is not natural. It is artificial glorification because they are not fit for glorification. But in this case, Prithu Maharaj is a true leader. He is actually practicing and he is doing for the citizens and they are glorifying. We can see that they are naturally, it is coming naturally, it's not artificial. In order to get some benefit out of the king, they are not glorifying. They are actually seeing the that work he is doing. And they are also saying that you are doing your occupational duty as a Kshatriya. It's not wonder. So that actually it is inherent. You have that quality of compassion. Whenever they have a quality of compassion, they can do for others. Suppose if you see mothers, so mothers, they don't expect anything from the children. So automatically they love, the love comes from their heart and they do lots of things for their children. So that is natural. So in the same way, Vaishnavas, out of compassion, they do lots of things for the others. So they protect from falling from the danger. So that is the one biggest quality of the Vaishnava. Here, Prithu Maharaj also having that quality, and the citizens, they recognize that quality and they glorifying. You are so compassionate because you are affectionate towards us, and you are not only that you are affectionate, but you are also seeing the needs of us, the interests of us. So it's just like a mother. You take the example, mother, she gives everything, she supplies everything, she takes care of everything, whatever the child needs. So food, clothes, and safety, health, everything she takes care. So child, no need to ask. In the same way, the true leader, they have to take care of necessities of citizens. So in present scenario, that is lacking. They are not seeing the interests of the citizen. They are not seeing the necessities of the whole society, the town, country. So they are taking advantage of that position, and they are taking benefit out of it. So whatever earnings they are just taking, and they are converting into black money, they are just taking without doing any surveys. It's not a true, it is not the characteristic of true leader. And also in the purport, the Prabhupada is mentioning the Varnasrama Dharma. He is emphasizing on Varnasrama Dharma. So in Varnasrama, it is a functional institute of society. So where they can, where every Varna can advance and they know the absolute truth. They self-realize and they see the absolute truth. So that it is a possibility for each Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudra. So they have opportunity to get liberation, to know the absolute truth by doing their own services. So here these four Varnas in the society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudra, are compared with the four limbs of the Lord. So Brahmanas are compared with the head, the Kshatriyas are with the arms, and the Vaisyas are compared with the stomach, tummy, belly, and the Sudras are with leg. So here, if you see in the Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter 13th verse, Chaturvarna Maya system, Gunakarma Vibhagasga. So these four varnas, ashramas are created by me according to their work, occupation. So according to their guna, qualification, and their nature of the occupation. So these four are created by me. And also in Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 13th verse. So Ata Pumma Dijastesta Varnasrama Vibhagasaha Swanustisista Dharmasya Samsiddho Haritoshanam. So these four Varnas are established so that they realize the Lord and ultimately to please the Lord. So all their duties, whatever actions they are doing, ultimately for what purpose they do, they to please the Samsiddha Haritoshanam, to please the Lord only, whatever. So Prabhupada is saying that, so no need to change your position. Wherever you are, you just do your duty. As a Brahmana, you do your duty. Kshatriya, your duty. So nowadays it is mixed. Kshatriyas are becoming Brahmanas, Brahmanas are becoming Sudras. So everything is mixing up. If you see the students, they go to university, they want to do one study, they're changing mind. They want to go to other study, they want to change the path because it is confused. So the Prabhupada is emphasizing proper training should be there for Brahmanas. If the Brahmanas are trained, because they are compared with the heads of the head, means the Vedas, knowledge is coming from the brain, head. So Prithvi Maharaj also is suggesting, so they are instructing the citizens have to respect Brahmanas. So by Diksha, Prabhupada is saying that when the nectar of devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned that when bell metal touched with mercury, it becomes gold. In the same way, bell metal means Sudras, unqualified persons. So when they touch with, when they do the Diksha, when they take up the Harinam, when they take up the devotional service, they become Vaishnavas. So Brahmanical training should be there in the society. In turn, they train Kshatriyas. Under the guidance of Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas rule the citizens properly. They take advices from the Brahmanas, they rule the citizen so nicely, perfectly. And with the help of the Kshatriyas, the Vaisyas, they do their production, agriculture, farming. And the laborers, they depend on the other three categories, they survive. And in this verse, Prabhupada is saying how they survive. The Brahmanas, they survive by taking some contributions, donations from the disciples as a Guru Dakshana. So with that, he survives. And also, he totally depends on the Lord. If Lord gives, mercy of the Lord depends on mercy of Lord. If Lord gives, he takes. And the donations from the disciples. There is no other occupation. So he is giving the knowledge. He is preaching. He is spreading the Krishna consciousness. And he takes some donations. That's how he survives. In the same way, Kshatriyas, they do so many activities for the society, welfare activities for society, making the roads, the transport, and providing necessity for the farming, agriculture, for farmers, so many other things. And for that one, he takes a little bit tax, levy on the tax. That is her survival. He should not be greedy, taking everything. So whatever taxes he get, he leave on that one. And so if you see present scenario, so the leaders and the government, they're making so many taxes, so big taxes on small things, and the citizens are troubling. They are having the trouble times, so no, they cannot pay the taxes and all these. So it is not like that they can tax any amount of money on that. It's not like that. So they have to see the positions of the society. According to, they have to give the taxes. Based on that, they can survive. In the same way, the mercantile class, business class people, the Vaishyas, they do farming and cow protection, and they do the trading, and whatever profit, little profit they get, they survive on that. So they shouldn't be greedy. So whatever profit they get, they have to survive on it. And the laborers, they depend on the mercy of other categories. They serve them, and they because they don't have any intelligence, like Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaisyas, they just do the labor work, physical work, and in that way they survive. So these Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and these four categories, so they also, the work depends on their modes. Brahmanas are in mode of goodness. So that means knowledge, truthfulness. So these are their characters. Kshatriyas are in the passion because they have to rule, they have to protect, they have to show some anger when the situations come to protect the citizens. They have to be anger, so they are in the passion. So Vaisyas have a mixed modes, both passion and ignorance. Passion means for the trading, they do the business, and sometimes they keep themselves in the mode of ignorance, because sometimes they do some manipulations in the trading, so by taking more profit from the customers. In that way, they are in ignorance. But laborers, they are completely in the ignorance. But the Vedas, this is the Vedic system of injunctions. This Brahmana, Kshatriya, this category is given. The reason is, if they do their duty, they can elevate. Sudras, they do their Swadharma, their occupational duty, they can elevate to Vaisyas, they can elevate to Kshatriya, they can elevate to Brahmana. So what is that elevation means? Their modes, they can bring from the mode of ignorance to mode of goodness. So Prabhupada is saying that it is a very slow process. It takes, but it is a very slow process. So, because nowadays the society is not supporting. If Sudra want to become Brahmana, they won't. It doesn't happen. So many rules, regulations, restrictions. They cannot do it. It is a slow process. Changing their mood, changing their consciousness, come to the mode of goodness. It is a long process. But Prabhupada is, so even though he is emphasizing on Varnasrama Dharma, Brahmanical training, so he is also emphasizing taking the Krishna consciousness at any stage. Even Sudras can take up Krishna consciousness, even Brahmanas, even Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, at any stage they can take up the Krishna consciousness and they can elevate from the mode of goodness, mode of ignorance to mode of goodness at any time. So in that way, the Brahminical training should be there. The Dikshas and proper association with the pure devotees and hearing, chanting. So everything should be there. So they can elevate to higher, and they get the opportunity to know about absolute truth. And Prabhupada in many lectures, he also giving the example, one Brahman can train 10 Kshatriyas. And these 11, one Brahman and 10 Kshatriyas can maintain 89 Vaisyas. So these 89 Vaisyas can coordinate and can maintain 900 Sudras altogether. So that is the power of one Brahman, because he completely depends on the Lord. He is always engaged in the worship of Lord. So in that how he has that capacity to train the Kshatriyas. If you see in previous, in Puranas, in histories, any king, they have one priest, one Rajaguru in the assembly. Whatever the situation comes, immediately he consult with Rajaguru, that priest. So even Dasarath Maharaj was consulting Vasishta, Janak Maharaj also. So each and every king who are ruling, they were giving the importance, they respecting the Brahmanas in the assembly, and they taking the advices from the Brahmanas. That's how they are ruling. And at the end, the result will be always positive, always good for the citizens. It's not like that. The Kshatriyas are not totalitarian. That means they don't take decisions by themselves. They consult, and Brahmanas, they consult ministry, and they consult the citizens also. In that how it's a teamwork. And in that in this way, the rulers, Kshatriyas, they rule the kingdom, they rule the citizens. So that is very important, respecting the Brahmanas and taking the advices from the Brahmanas. It is very important. In that the Brahmanas train the Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, and the other categories. So the Brahmanical culture is very important. It is necessary in the society to train the Brahmanas. That's why Cyril Rupa Goswami mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion. So by Diksha process, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasized the Brahmanas. So the who knows the Krishna consciousness, even though he is a Sudra, so he is elevated to the level of Vaishnava. So at any stage, we can take up the Krishna consciousness, and we can see that the highest truth and get the highest perfection. So if you see the Indraprastha, there is in the establishment of Indraprastha, Yudhishthir, he consulted Krishna, and he consulted his gurus, and he took the advices from the guru. When he was trying to establish Indraprastha, many trade people, that is mercantile people, business people, they just moved to Indraprastha. They started their trading. So in that way, to help them, some labor class people also joined them. In that way, the whole Indraprastha is established like a big kingdom. So the team support is there, because here what Yudhishthira did, he took the advices from the Krishna. He took advices from the Brahmanas. That's how the prosperity of kingdom happens. And also he is not, so in the case of Veena, so if you see the Veena, he was not listening to Brahmanas. He was ruling the kingdom whimsically, whatever he wants. He was killing, and he was ruling whatever way he wants. So Brahmanas condemned that. They rejected, but he didn't listen. By the power of mantras, Brahmanas killed him. So at the end, they get the punishment for not doing their duty properly. As a Kshatriya, they have to do their duty, but if they are not doing, they get the punishment. In the same way, so as a Brahmana, they have to do their duty. They have to preach, they have to be in the worship of the Lord. So otherwise, they get the punishment. Punishment means they fallen from their occupation duty. And this is explained in the Nectar of Devotion also. And also, if you see, there is one more example, how the devotees are so compassionate. The citizens are glorifying Prithu Maharaj as a compassionate. So because he is a devotee, these are the natural symptoms of devotee, being compassionate. And if you see Vedavyasa, he was writing, he wrote so many Vedas, so many Puranas, so many Itihasas, so many things, Vedanta Sutra. Still he is not happy. He was thinking, so why I am not happy? Because I may not written something which is not useful for the mankind. So whatever I read, it is not genuine for them. That means it is not giving complete understanding for them. So what way I can give complete understanding for my the future, for the future society, mankind. So because they see the future of the people, the citizens, how they can, so he can imagine how the Kali Yuga will be Mandamati, so they are foolish, lazy, so ignorant. So how I can deliver the correct message for them to understand absolute truth? So whatever the Vedas I have given, it is not giving satisfaction for myself. So I think they cannot understand all this. How I can give? So he was thinking. Why he was thinking like that? Because he is so compassionate towards the society. He has to give the best thing for the society. If you see the recent example, Prabhupada. So even at the age of 17, he went to foreign. What was his mood? To establish dharma, to establish the supremacy of Lord. And in order to obey his spiritual master's orders, he has printed the books, he translated so many books. So I think everybody knows that he was writing the translations in the night also. So rarely he was sleeping, all the time recording, and all the times he was translating books. So whole life he dedicated for the service of his guru to spread the Krishna consciousness. Why he has done? So he can just sit in the Vrindavan, he can do his bhajan, but he didn't do it. At the age of 70 also, even he has so many troubles in the Jaladuta while going to years. So he had 2 heart attacks. Still he didn't give up because he has a compassionate towards fallen souls. He wants to bring them up. So that is the nature of devotee. Even so many acharyas, if you see Goswami Ashtakam, Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipudum. So they are so experts in writing everything. So why they are writing all this? To give the benefit for the mankind, for the society, for the fallen conditioned souls. They have written so many things. And they sacrifice their lives, and they have given lots of literature, the devotion, the how to do devotion, how to follow it, what are the rules, regulations in their scriptures. So why? Because they are so compassionate. It's like that's why the verse is given, Vancha kalpa tarubhya krupa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So they are like a desire trees. So desire tree means whatever you want, it gives. If you ask the mango tree apple, it gives apple. So in the same, whatever you desire, it gives. It's like that. So they are so compassion towards the fallen souls. So that's why Vaishnavas are so elevated. We have to give respect to them, and we have to follow the footsteps of them. And if you see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nityananda, Haridas Thakur, they were going to give the Harinam. They were going to each and every house, like a marketing. They are selling the product. Take the Harinam, take the Harinam, get the benefit. But the people in the mode of ignorance, they are ignoring it. especially Jagai and Madai. They were, so even they tried to attack Nityananda Prabhu, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got angry. So he came up with the Sudarshan Chakra to kill the Jagai Madai. But Nityananda Prabhu said, no, this is not your mission in this Kali Yuga. You said you not take the weapons. Your weapon is Sankirtana Maha Yajna. So don't kill, please. He begged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? He is so compassionate towards the fallen soul. So even though he had he saved Jagai and Madai. After that, they became a great devotees, disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So why they are doing all this? Because they are so compassionate. If you see in the present situation, our Maharajas and spiritual masters, gurus, they travel from one place to other. Even though each country is different, climatic conditions, their lifestyle is different cultures, different food, still they want to spread the mission. And they just go here and there. They travel so much of time. They travel in the train, they travel in the flight, different situations. Besides their health, they just ignore it and they go for preaching. Why they are doing this? Because they are so compassionate toward the fallen soul. They want to deliver the mankind. So, and they want to establish the highest truth about Lord Krishna. So in that the spreading of the mission, they don't bother even what happened to their bodies, physical bodies, because they are in the mood of compassion. And the one more point I just want to tell, if so Prabhupada is saying that it is not it is, if you want to go from one ashram to other ashram, it takes time. So if you want to change your mood, your moods, that is from ignorant to mode of goodness, it takes time, long time. But at any stage, if you take up the Krishna consciousness, you can elevate to the level of Vaishnavas. If you become a Vaishnava, you can guide so many other categories, so many other fallen conditions. So that's why Brahminical culture should be established in the society, and that's how the other people get the benefit. So even though there are two dharmas, Varnasrama Dharma and Bhagavata Dharma, Prabhupada emphasized on Varnasrama Dharma, and he emphasized on the training, giving training to the people for the Brahmanical qualities. So he has given even though when Prabhupada went to America, there were so many hippies without any culture. Even Prabhupada, he has given the initiations to them. So if one person attend the class, if one person is doing some little service to the Prabhupada, he has given because he has a faith that definitely they will become good devotees, because that is proved. All these hippies became a great devotees of the disciples of Prabhupada. They served Lord, and they established so many temples, so many these congregation centers throughout the world, and they are doing so many, establishing gurukulas, and they are doing prasad distribution, book distribution, so many other activities which are very important for the Krishna consciousness to spread the mission of Krishna. So in that way, the functional institute of society is Varnasrama Dharma. If you follow the rules, whatever dharma you are in, you can just elevate it to the higher dharma. At any stage, you can take the Krishna consciousness directly, you can know the truth, you can understand the highest truth. And so there are some more examples I have explained here, and the one example I want to give is that the kings should not be totalitarian. That means they should not do whatever they want. They have to take, they consult the gurus and they have to take suggestions from the guru. In that way, they can rule the citizens. And the kings, generally, if they give the word, they do it. If they give any promise, they do it. So if you see in the Mahabharata, during the war, so the Duryodhana was so upset because everybody is killing. So anybody, the Karna also defeated, he was killed. All are killed by Pandavas. So he was so upset. He went to Bhishma Dev and he asked, so you have lots of power and you know how to kill. You have that arrows to kill the Pandavas. Give me 5 arrows. And Bhishma said, okay, so I'm putting my entire energy into these 5 arrows. You can use it. So when Duryodhana was in his tent, the Arjuna came. Krishna knew that. So he asked for 5 arrows from the Bhishma. Immediately the Arjuna. So Arjuna, once upon a time, so you saved Duryodhana from Chitrangada on Yaksha. So now that time Duryodhana said, you can ask anything. You said, so I will ask when the time comes. This time has arrived. You can go and ask for that 5 arrows. So Arjuna went and asked Duryodhana. Duryodhana gave that 5 arrows. He knows that. He knows that these 5 arrows, so I just keep them to kill 5 Pandavas, but now he is asking, I have to give them back. So that is the nature of the Kshatriya. If they promise, if they give word, they have to take it. They have to do it. In the same way, if you see the Kaikeyi, Dasarath, so Kaikeyi, once upon a time, she saved when the Dasarath was fighting, he just fell unconsciousness at one point of time. That time, Kaikeyi did the war. So she saved the situation. Dasarath said, so you saved my life and the situation, so you can ask anything. That time she didn't ask when the Lord Ram is going to get the throne. That time she asked 2 bones. So it was hurting Dasarath Maharaj. Still, he stood on the words. He gave the 2 words to Kaikeyi. So these are the nature of the Kshatriya. Kshatriya should be they should stand for the citizens at any situations. Then only the citizens recognize the qualities of king. They appreciate, they glorify. Here also the citizens, they understood the nature of the Prithu Maharaj. They are saying that you are doing like this and you are worth as a Kshatriya. So because you have that natural tendency of compassionate, affectionate towards the citizens, so you can do it. So in this way, they are appreciating Prithu Maharaj. As a Kshatriya, they should have these qualities. And also the other point, we studied that the Vaishnava should be compassionate. If you see in the temple also, the many Prabhujis, Matajis, they go beyond their level. They try to help others. Especially the temples, ISKCON temples worldwide, they have so many programs for the newcomers. So giving the Harinam, taking them the opportunity to participate in kirtans, giving the prasadam, giving the books. So if they invite, they going home and preaching. So lots of facilities they are doing out of their compassion. So what is the mood here? They want to deliver the fallen souls. They have taken the instruction from their spiritual masters and they're following it. So whatever the spiritual masters given the instructions, they follow it. So the whole mission is to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. That is the mission. So even spiritual masters, they are following it, and the devotees in the temple congregation, so they are also following this principle. That's why the Vaishnavas are far superior. That's why we have to pay obeisances to them to get our desires fulfilled. So desires means it's not mundane desires. So to protect our devotion, to be in the devotion, to do our sadhana without offenses. So these blessings we need from the Vaishnavas. If you take up the Krishna consciousness, automatically you become compassionate. If you see the Mahabharata war, Arjuna is so compassionate. Even though other parties, they are aggressors, even though they are so much did to them very badly, still he is compassionate towards them. Why? Because he is a devotee. He is a great devotee of Lord. He knows what it should be. At any circumstances, we should not hurt others. So that is the compassion. So afterwards, Krishna said that is real compassion is to deliver the fallen souls. So it should be self-realization. So you are doing the false lamentation for the false compassion. So after that, he instructed, and again the war happened. So these are the 2 points I just wanted to share with you. So how the Varnashrama system was established and how it functions. And the second one, how the Vaishnavas are so compassionate towards the fallen conditioned souls. And at the end, the Krishna consciousness is the medium so that everybody can elevate to the highest perfection stage and they know the highest absolute truth. I just want to conclude it. If anybody wants to add any points, please welcome.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
And
Wonderful class in the morning. Yeah, you have enumerated everything. You listed so many qualities of Pitu Maharaj. Not much to say of it, but the gist is how Pitu Maharaj, being a king, taking the advices of the Brahmanas and implementing those instructions through his capacity, being a Saptavish Avatar. So he was truly following the Varnashram system, showing an example that society need to follow. So all the examples are given so nicely to make it a point, to make it an understanding that whatever situation you are possessing, whatever occupation you are possessing, doesn't matter. You just follow the Varnashram system, means with this occupation, you can serve your duty so that you can ultimately achieve the goal of life. So to understand the goal of life through various examples of Pitu Maharaj, we get to know that it is very, very important for all of us to follow the Varnashram system as mentioned in Vedic scriptures. They are true and in nature they are all useful because these Vaishnavas, who is Pitu Maharaj, is a symbol of great Vaishnava, who is giving the advice so that we can follow his footsteps in our new future. And ISKCON is the source of that picture, showing to everybody that it can cater all the facilities to the people in general so that they can get the benefit and understand the goal of life. And that is the mission established by our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. We make people understand what is the goal of life. No matter what the burden, what the occupation you are working, you can still do the same through your present occupation. And that is the mission of our ISKCON. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anybody wants to add anything?
Thank you for a very nice class, Mataji. You explained everything really lovely. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. There are no questions. So we conclude class. Hare Krishna. If there are no questions, we can conclude class, Prabhuji. Yeah.
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
प्रभुपाद की जय।
की जय।
माताजी की जय।
जय। हरि हरि बोल।
All assembled devotees, Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्ण।
Krishna.